who classify themselves, thanks to Jesse Jackson, as African Americans, I personally believe they did not do the work and research their lineage. I actually did. And I found it real confusing. Whereas, and I'm 55. So I'm sitting back and I'm looking at my birth certificate. It says Negro. Then I look at my oldest daughter's birth certificate, who's 34, and her birth certificate says Black American.
Hold on,
Then I
pause.
look at my third one.
Hold on,
One moment
slow
here.
down.
I look. I
I
this
did
is
that.
what
Hold on,
got me on
hold
my
on, Miss
search.
Miss KR, because this is something that we looked up birth certificates, and we found out that majority of states do not actually show the race on the birth certificate. What city was this, or what state rather? So this way you won't have to be so pinpoint. But what state was this
Alabama.
that
Okay.
shows the exact?
Well, my birth certificate is from 1971, and that's from Humphreys County, Mississippi. My oldest daughter, her birth certificate is from Minnesota, and that was in 91, 92, something like that. But then we get to my third daughter, who was born in 2004. Her birth certificate does not carry a race. So that confused me. It's like, if I'm listed as a Negro, why is my oldest daughter listed as a Black American, but then my youngest daughter has no race? So I went to look at my mother's birth certificate. Her birth certificate says Negress. So I'm going, this is weird, because shouldn't we all be the same thing? So I looked at my Medea's birth certificate, which is her mother. She was listed as colored. And I said, well, that's awful strange, because we're all from the same bloodline. Why do we have these different races?
Okay.
So I continued to go further back.
So now with all that information, right? So now if you had a chance to vote for reparations or not, you will vote.
Oh, I definitely would vote, because we are due. We are due. Yes, I would vote. We are due, and we're entitled. I mean, they gave the Japanese reparations.
So now that we are in this era of the conversation where we had to make a separate understanding, like the FBA, right? It's fairly a new term, because before we tried these other ways. And this is going to be the way to get reparations for people that was affected by slavery. Why not just be a part of that, instead of worrying about exact definitions, instead of about how we are using the word in today's time?
Because it matters. Why is it that we, no matter all over the world, okay, flat or round, why are the people, the Blacks in America, the only people whose president every 12 years gets to reclassify them? We've gone from Niji to Negro to Black to Walter Plecker saying you can't be an Indian, but every 12 years we get a new name. And they only have that ability when you're a prisoner of war. Nobody ever questions that. Why am I not equal to the white person who, no matter who their mama or daddy is, what decade, they're always listed as what? White or Caucasian. Or the Asian is always Asian. No matter which country they're from, they're still Asian. Or a Hispanic person.
It's chaos. So like, that's understandable, and we get that part of the argument. However, it doesn't move the fact that a group of people are having a FBA movement to try to correct those wrongs. So going by focusing strictly on the definition of things, instead of just getting the first part. This is why my cousin was up here earlier talking about we are putting the cart before the horse. Is that first we need to get it in position where it say, yes, Black people are owed reparations from this country, and then we could go to the next step of deciding how we find out. Well, we already understand how we're going to find out who's descendants of slaves and all that, and then we could go about how we're going to disperse all of this money, land, or whatever it is. But if we keep on arguing and bickering over just definitions and who started it and who's in it and who's not, we will never get to the point where we can actually get to the vote, say yes, Black folks' own reparations. And then after we get the money, then we can argue about, hey, my real lineage is whatever tribe we want to add ourselves to, because that is really no consequence when we're trying to get something done to focus on true definitions and etymology that black means pale and all these other things. It doesn't really matter when we're just trying to get something done.
I have an issue with that because the people that came over here, okay, after the 60s, right, they did not suffer the same ills that my great great grandfather did in 1860.
Perfect. So
Nor,
that's what,
nor,
hold on. So that's
so I
perfect.
don't feel that
Hold
they
on.
should
So Miss
receive.
Chaos, so that was perfect that you said that, right? And I just want to hash that out real quick. So the people from the 1960s, they are not. If they just came here in 1960s, would you say that they are a descendant of slavery?
No,
Okay, so therefore they would not be in the conversation. They are not going to get any reparations, and that's how we could tell. That's why it doesn't have. We don't even have to bring them up because we're not talking about people that's affected by Jim Crow or redlining. It's very specific to. They got affected by slavery. So people that came after that, it don't mean us no consequence to even discuss them at all.
right. I'm not saying that they didn't come over here, and catch a stray just because of their skin tone. I'm not saying that or dismissing that in any way, shape, or form. But when you are able to go back and you can literally say, guess what? To hell with what y'all are talking about. My forefathers were here and they stood on the bridge. My great uncle's auto body shop, Posey Automotive, that's the shop that they used in Alabama during the bus boycotts. Okay. So my mother, there's an actual photo of my mother and my aunt on the bridge. My aunt took a hit to her leg with that water hose. It's shaped like a C to this day.
So for me right now, Miss Cat, it sounds like you actually agree with FBA movement. You just don't like that. You
I
just
don't
don't like
like
the
the
name. You don't
title
like
of
the
the
name.
FBA because that takes away. Are we not like slicing the pie a little thin by just calling ourselves foundational? Because that puts a certain light on it. When we say
So,
that we are indigenous, we were
so,
already here and
so
you
I
people
think
did what you did. Are we not entitled to a bigger slice at that point? Or do
so.
we
I
just
think the
want to?
issue. I think the issue is that we cannot focus on the name, but we need to focus on what the movement is trying to get accomplished. I think we are majoring something minor when we're just paying attention to the title of the movement. The title of the movement doesn't actually mean anything. What it
It does
really
to the white
it
people.
is no. So, but what means more is what we are trying to implement, and that's the thing that we need to focus on more than whatever the title is. What is black? What is indigenous? How long ago? That doesn't really matter. You was affected by slavery. Is the base and the title of the name? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't because we just trying to get something done for people that suffered from slavery, and that's the only thing that matters is how we're going to implement that and get America to right their wrongs, what they did to the slaves that they captured and took advantage of in this country to become so wealthy. So we cannot be focused on just a name. We got to focus on the implementation of the outcome of righting that wrong. That's all.
Sharon, can I add something, please, sir?
Yeah, after Marvelous Opinion. Oh, no matter of fact, after Omni, etc. He was here before all y'all.
Uh,
Yeah, so it's my go.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, everybody? So I was listening to the discussion between Diva and Brownsville, and I think Brownsville is coming at it from it's a timeline thing. So Diva is talking about the foundation of it, which is the lineage, which is the primary qualification. Brownsville is talking about what to do after we get the money, like who we should. And I think I think Sharon, I think you're actually correct in your assessment of, the name of what we call the movement is not necessarily the most important thing. The most important thing is the qualification of who gets it and determining
Yeah.
that. And then the next important thing is what we do after it. And I think he wants to separate, like Brownsville was talking about separating ourselves from individuals like Jay Prince, and I think that's actually going to undercut the efforts of of establishing the foundational qualification to begin with.
Mm,
I think
right.
At this point, if people want, for those that would like reparations, um, establish the lineage qualification first,
Mm-hmm.
and then whatever y'all want to do as like-minded individuals, figure that out after the fact.
After, right.
Get with like-minded individuals after the fact, and then y'all can create your own organization. Call it the FBABO, Foundational Black American Builders Association. Organization or whatever. Create your
Or the
own
IBA, right?
organization under
The
that.
Indigenous Black Americans, right? You can call it whatever you want at that point. The
Right,
IBA.
right. But get with like-minded individuals with those resources after the fact, and then y'all can take those resources and build. I don't think we need to harp on who gets qualified, and because this person has a different set of values from me, you know what I mean? They should be disqualified from that lineage qualification just because they have a different set of values. Because
Right.
if
It's
they
rooted
really,
in
because
lineage.
we know that certain individuals are just going to give it right back to the system anyway, and so that's cool for them. But those of us that want to build after the fact, after the payout, or however we get it, I suggest the tax thing. But um, however we get whatever form the reparations come in, however we get those assets, however we get that liquid, whatever it's going to be, I think we just build with like-minded individuals after the fact.
And I just want to say, and Miss KR, we're gonna bring it back to. I just want to make sure everybody get a chance at the microphone. I just want to let everybody know this is the least supported show financially I had all week. I just want to let that be known. It's interesting to see when we talk about black business, people get a little tight with the pockets. It's interesting. All I'm asking for 99 cents. Go ahead, marvelous opinion.
These topics always do find interesting, but it is in terms of politics, I think it's just identity. And for those who want reparations, fight for it. Do what you feel is best and what's owed to you, your lineage, and all that. I would find myself personally disingenuous and disqualified in some in aspects, even attempting to go after it because of my lineage. I'm not pure, and I know that. So it's more like to those who would look at themselves and say, "Well, qualifies as a black." And as I said, this whole identity thing. This was what the lady was talking about. She did her own research for her own self. Everyone needs to do their own thing because we do have an assumption that all skin folk are kinfolk, for the most part. But that's not true. That's just something more that the system had played us to because we look at how whites treat blacks. Actually, we look at how whites do things and we try to do everything in contrast to them. We literally are like what one guy said. He says, like, we're like the shadows of black white people. Not to say we put ourselves there, but we can't seem to detach ourselves from whiteness at all. So that's why I think we even have this whole skinfolk, kinfolk type thing. That's just my opinion on that. But otherwise, though, the conversation is interesting. Learning a little bit as far as how you guys are seeing each other and what y'all are trying to distinguish as soon as your identity. I find it all interesting. But continue to have a conversation.
Thank you. Let's bring up
Who ain't said nothing?
It was my turn. It was my turn.
Relax. Diva, should we bring up our neighborhood tether or
That was friendlier than what you called me other times, so I'll take that.
all right, go ahead.
You just got to smile in the camera first.
Okay, look. Yo, PhD for black women love me. So all you're doing is just proving it. You're proving that point.
Hold on. Do you got a tooth? You got your tooth back?
Yo, Sharon, did you get your masculinity back? You get your masculinity back? Let's go.
Hold on.
Did you get black women back?
Hold on. Fight a complex.
Are you with a black woman again?
I'm not trying to disrespect you. I just want to know.
I don't want to disrespect you.
Okay, so
are you with a black woman?
Hold on. Did you get your tooth fixed?
Listen. Are you with a black woman again?
Let me see smile. Let me see your teeth. Come
Yeah, this nigga
on.
funny.
It's Tiffus. It's Tiffus. I like your sunroof.
Yo, let me talk, man. I being childish, man. You see what I'm saying? I come here when I come here to have the conversation. You guys want to joke around.
I'm
We do.
sorry. I
Go ahead, Michael.
apologize.
All right, so Galakan Doggy's the Cloud Chase for Call Dominican representative, proud tether. Now, earlier, the lady that came up, she doesn't understand she's doing herself a disservice because whether you want to argue about um, FBA or Aboriginal, it doesn't matter because they're trying to get paid, right? Because you were enslaved at one point in this country. Most of y'all, right? A grand
Yeah,
majority.
he didn't get it fixed, y'all.
Yeah, no.
So
Yeah, mm-mm.
so
Yeah,
oh,
no.
listen. So a grand listen. A grand
Nah.
majority.
No. No. To the hell no.
No,
Sir,
okay,
I'm not
all right, that's cool.
confused.
All right,
Wait, let
all
me
right,
just
that's cool.
address
Wait, it's
your
my
one
turn.
point. Let me
It,
just address your
it's my
one point
turn. It's
before we
my turn.
lose focus.
She's interrupting me. She's
I
interrupting me, bro.
apologize. I'll wait.
Listen, right? You go respond. You go respond. So regardless, all right, whatever. That's your other theory. Now, only a little y'all were enslaved, or it was only the African, the ones that came on the boat. Whatever. That's all theory. You're arguing it. But if you just keep your mouth shut, you keep your mouth shut and vote for it, you can benefit from it, right? But you're arguing about semantics. You
Mm-mm,
could, like they said earlier, you could argue about what your gang name is after the fact. If you
mm-mm.
believe, even if you believe in the theory or not, they're trying to tell people that look like you in this country are might get paid. Why wouldn't you just take the money if you feel like your people were done wrong? Is that plain and simple? Shut the fuck up, vote for the money, then you can have the debate and the argument later on about, oh no, we wasn't really enslaved, or oh no, we the real aboriginals. And then PhD Diva, she kind of conflates it. I'm handsome. I'm handsome. So
Bless
and then
your heart.
PhD book, thank you. And then PhD book, she conflates the ancestry, right? Because when she'll say, oh yeah, no, they don't say that we have Aboriginal ancestry, right? No. They say that we are the Aboriginals, right? So that's two different arguments, PhD Diva. So
Okay.
either are you so hold on, PhD Diva.
Me
They
no
don't.
FBA, Papa. Me no
So
FBA.
listen,
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no,
I don't know, my friend.
no. Dominicans are the real FBA. We were the first black people of the Americas. We the
You said
real
who said
FBA,
what?
the Dominicans.
That's so
You said what?
special.
Domin-
Look, look,
Dominicans are the real
Tyler in his
FBA.
action.
Okay,
You're
sir.
so
so
We're
special.
Tyler
real.
in a
Let
real
me.
Dominicans are
tribe.
the real FBA.
hold on.
Nah,
Hold on.
not.
We're gonna
We
let
the
So
original
special.
FBA.
okay,
No, you're not.
hold on. We're gonna let Miss KR answer first, and now we are changing name to DBA, Dominican Black Americans. All right,
I
go
don't know,
ahead,
No,
Papa.
no, no, no,
I don't know.
no.
Yeah.
We're
DNA.
gonna let
Uh-uh.
Miss KR
Uh-uh.
answer. Let her
Dominican
answer.
Native American.
Allah.
DNA.
All right,
Yeah, don't DNA, DNA,
let Miss
DNA. Don't
KR.
DNA.
nobody acknowledge that foolishness.
You know
Now,
black,
you said
Papa. You
I
know black.
was
You
confused.
so happy because a white man said
Hold on,
FBA.
hold on. You asked her not to interrupt, right?
But y'all
Did
booty
you ask?
clapping because the
Did
white
you
man
hold
said
on? Did you ask
FBA.
her? I'm just asking you a question. Did you ask her not to interrupt?
Now my bad. You're right. You got it. You got it, Sharonda. You got it.
Now, this is Miss K. This is not Sharonda. I'm the one you said was confused earlier based upon lineage. And just a quick side note to your DNA. Yeah, Dominican what? It's more like no. Do not acknowledge that foolishness. Now, as far as lineage goes, yeah, it does serve me to acknowledge the fact that my ancestors were here and accidentally came upon the information. And the further back I went, I was like, hold up. We weren't slaves. The white man writes down everything. How come he didn't write down none of my people being slaves? Right? Why can I not trace that? So the further back I go to the 1830s, No, somebody lied here. Matter of fact, I'm trying to execute a land patent title snatch back from land that I found in Jefferson County, Alabama. Okay, because you need to show this land was what allotted to my ancestors. So a land patent supersedes everything. So when we're talking about getting a check, yeah, cash is nice, but see, land lasts forever. And that patent lasts forever. So it behooves everyone to go back and do their ancestry lineage review. Why? Because see, that's truly
Bars.
where the money is. That's where
I
the
was
money
gonna
is.
say that, but you
Don't,
got
don't,
that.
don't,
Oh, that was
don't,
so
don't,
pretty.
don't, don't,
Oh,
don't be
that was
mad
good.
because you can't go back and track and trace yours. Don't be mad at
I
those
can.
that
I know where I'm
can.
from. I know where I'm from. I know
Yeah,
where
and
my
I
people
know where
from.
I'm from
You
too.
you're
So
confused.
it's
You're
disrespectful.
confused.
How am I
Okay,
confused
all
when
right,
it's
hold
in
on,
You're
black
all right,
and
co-
hold on,
white?
all right, hold on.
Please
We're
tell
gonna
me.
calm it down because fighter trying to turn up for no reason.
No, I
Hold on, let
want
me.
him to
Hold
tell
on.
me how I am
I got you.
confused when I'm
I got
sitting
you,
here
Miss
with
Chaos.
documents in black and white. How am I
I got you.
confused?
Hold on, Miss Cal. Let me read a couple of super chats. So a few that I did get. I only got a couple anyway. So go ahead, PhD.
The Emperor, $2. AR, why you always crying? Sharon is real, 100. Hashtag Sharon never lies.
Yeah.
Ashe 2 times, $2, baby. Elon Musk is African American, a whole immigrant.
And also,
Jimmy Wall Street Willie.
I got a cash up. It says Lele, the Lele. I support FBA. Thank you.